It's time for the 1430 Connection on 1430 WNAV and 99.9 FM, spotlighting news, newsmakers, and important community issues. Now, with this week's edition of the 1430 Connection, here is WNAV news anchor Donna Cole.
Welcome to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me is Annapolis Police Department Sergeant Amy Miguez, the Public Information Officer, and Sergeant Nicole Vaden, your Community Services Representative for the Annapolis Police Department. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, the reason why you're here today, the reason why I wanted to talk to you both is the Annapolis Cares Program, and that is an offshoot, and Nicole, you can tell me more about this, of the Project Lifesaver International, yes?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what it is.
So we actually developed this two-prong program. The first prong is the Annapolis Cares part, which is an alert system for the officers to let them know that someone with some sort of cognitive issue, whether it be Alzheimer's, dementia, even autism, may either be in a vehicle that they're stopping, at a residence that we're responding to for a call for service. It's also tied to the person's name. So if they encounter them out on the street, they may know, it's an alert so that they know that there's some sort of cognitive issue with the person.
Sometimes people with these cognitive issues, these mental health issues, will have habits like reaching into their pockets or other things along those lines, which could be the exact opposite of what a police officer wants to see and is concerned with. They might think that they're reaching for a gun, that type of thing. So your officers have had some training in this, right?
They have. We also have officers who the training has gone even one step further in that they're trained with critical incident response. We call them CIT officers. So it's critical incident training or teams. So they have even more experience and more training dealing with people such as that. But it could be, lack of eye contact. It could be pacing. We have one woman who answers every question with yes. It doesn't matter what you ask her. Well, some of the time we're trained to ask yes or no questions if someone has issues communicating.
Right, and
so that's going to be an issue.
Right?
Yeah.
I know we're getting off of this topic and we'll come back to it, but the officers that have had critical incident response training, are those officers on every shift?
They're distributed throughout the department, so to say that, that there's one on every shift, there probably is,
but we don't know for, okay, tough to tell.
Yeah.
Okay, so that Annapolis Cares, getting back to that's one part of it. If it's an adult, for instance, somebody over 18, is a parent, who's putting that person in this program?
It's whoever, so it's a voluntary program, so it's whoever is their primary caretaker, if they have a power of attorney over the person, something like that.
So
it
you
could
need
be
a power
spouse.
You need a power of attorney in order to...
If they're not related, like with marriage or something like that, power of attorney.
Or a child?
Or a child, yes.
Okay. So this is not just for the people with Alzheimer's, although that's a huge concern because a lot of people with Alzheimer's or dementia tend to, walk out the door like they used to, walk down the street, maybe get in a car, right?
Maybe not get in a car, but they could wander away and get lost, not be able to find their way back. So that brings in the second prong of the program, which is the Project Lifesaver. Okay. And Project Lifesaver started 20 years ago down in Chesapeake, Virginia, and it involves radio frequency technology in the person who's enrolled in the Project Lifesaver portion wears a bracelet.
A bracelet, okay.
That emits a radio frequency that's specific to that bracelet. And then if they do wander away, I have a record of what that frequency is. We have a receiver, we set it to that frequency, and then we can help track the person.
You're not watching it 24/7, 365. You're only watching it if there's an incident.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And it's not like GPS where we can just bring it up on a screen and pinpoint exactly where the person is. It's a Yagi antenna. We hold it by hand and, try and find the signal and
like wildlife tracking collars
Absolutely.
work. Okay.
Yep.
The bracelet, is it any bracelet or is it it's a specific bracelet?
It's a specific bracelet.
And can it be taken off?
It gets taken off once a month so we can change the batteries in it, but the person and the family are not supposed to take it off.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the 1430 Connection. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. I'm in the studio with Sergeant Amy Miguez, Public Information Officer for the Annapolis Police Department, and Sergeant Nicole Vaden, Community Services with the Annapolis Police Department. We're talking about Annapolis Cares and Project Lifesaver. One of the issues you probably often see in Annapolis is we're a relatively small town surrounded by a larger jurisdiction known as Anne Arundel County, and you are within Anne Arundel County. So we have a lot of people that live in the county that go through the city and vice versa. This program is just for Annapolis city residents.
Correct. Although there are other agencies in the state of Maryland that have the Project Lifesaver program, Anne Arundel County isn't one of them.
But
It's
you're
just Annapolis
trying to
residents.
convince them, Amy, like you have convinced them on other things?
I think that they've gotten some inquiries once we launched this program from citizens that live in outside of the city of Annapolis that still want this program, and it may be something that they expand and do.
And so for citizens that are listening to this, that live outside in the county, that want this program, that think they might need this program, are you saying that they should maybe send an email or a call to the Anne Arundel County Police Department and put some heat on them?
Certainly. I mean, it's a program that's been used across the country, and it certainly is an increasing concern for people who have relatives that do wander like this. And it's a good resource, and there's a lot of grant funding out there.
And that was my next question. Did this come to you by way of grant?
It did,
Okay.
through the governor's office, crime and control office.
The Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention
There you go.
funded the purchase of the equipment and training. How many people have been trained on it?
There's 7 of us.
Okay, so if somebody goes on vacation, there's still somebody to
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
All right. What else should people know about this? It seems there's some people that are going to say this seems kind of invasive. There's other people that are going to recognize they have relatives that they're concerned about. They're concerned about their safety.
Well, like I said previously, it's completely voluntary. And if they should decide that they no longer want to be in the program, all they do is contact us. We take them out of the system.
All right. Scoot up just a little bit closer to the mic. Thanks. Amy, did you want to add something about it? Yeah,
it is a voluntary program, and it's certainly what people's comfort level is. You know, we definitely, anyone who wanted to be in the program certainly could be part of it, but if you don't have to. It's purely voluntarily, and if someone moved out of the program, we would completely delete their information. The information is not accessible, so say for the Project Lifesaver information, that information is accessible to the officers who need to locate the person, but it's not something that's available department-wide.
How do you weigh who gets into this program and who doesn't?
It's simply just by contacting me, and they just have to have some sort of diagnosis with the cognitive issue.
Okay, that's it. You need a diagnosis
Yes.
from a doctor. Okay.
For the Project Lifesaver part, it really is. It's not going to be a program for everybody. It's very specific. People who have this tendency to wander, you may have someone who is autistic and they don't have that tendency, and so that wouldn't be something that would be a resource they needed. But for Project Lifesaver, Sergeant Bain goes out and meets with them one-on-one. They get the information that she needs to qualify them for the program. If they don't qualify, they can always be part of Annapolis Cares. But should they qualify, then we provide the equipment. And then we check in with them once a month. It's not like we just give it to them and leave. It's a constant process because something might change in their status.
Right.
They may not need to be in the program anymore, or they may move out of the city, or just to check in. And that's part of the time when we change the battery as well on the equipment.
And again, just for residents, if somebody's working in the city, it still doesn't mean that.
Right. I mean, I think if they had a job in the city, we would consider allowing them to be part of it. Certainly, it's that connection with the city that's important.
Right.
The equipment we have is limited.
Funded for city residents is what
Right.
you're saying,
Right.
but not saying. Okay. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the 1430 Connection. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me is the Annapolis Police Department Public Information Officer, Sergeant Amy Miguez, and Sergeant Nicole Vaden, Community Services for the Annapolis Police Department. Programs coming up that we should be aware of, moving on from Annapolis Cares and Project Lifesaver. You do camps. You have a scholarship. Tell us what's going on with those.
Sure. Well, we're in our preliminary stages for our planning for our summer camps. We always team up with a lot of good organizations during the summer. So CRAB, Chesapeake Regional Assisted Boating, we do a camp with them in June. We have a kickball game that we always do at usually the week school is ending, where we have a big tournament all day where we bring in.
Didn't know about this.
Well, we'll have to let you know when it is.
Do.
But we get in a large group of kids. We split them up into teams. They play each other all day. We have lunch, and then the winning team at the end of the round robins gets to play a group of police officers in a kickball game.
That's awesome.
So it's really good. We were at Eastport Elementary. They on Veterans Day when they were in school, but a lot of parents had off. They had a huge school-wide kickball games going on, and that was a lot of fun. I think the kids really enjoyed it. So we've always
your officers probably enjoy. Do you have some talented officers with kickball?
We did. We had some pretty talented officers. They had some kids that were getting the balls pretty far too. So it's the third year we're doing that kickball game after school ends, and then we also have our fishing camps, which this year we've had 2 in recent years throughout the summer, and this year we're trying to schedule 3 of those. It's a fan favorite. All the kids love going out on the boats and learning how to fish. A really good opportunity. We also, last year was the first year we did a crabbing camp. So this year we're going to do at least 2 of those as well.
That's awesome. This is Annapolis.
Yes,
yeah.
Going out and getting your chicken necks and going off the end of the pier, and it should be a good time for that as well. And we have a CSI camp that we've done the last few years, so we have that in the works in June. And we're also looking at some new camps this year, a crisis intervention camp, so it can be called.
Perhaps.
Sergeant Vaden.
So there's some other events coming up. One, Eastport Working Together. That is being held February 18th, 6:30 p.m., 1014 President Street. What is Eastport Working Together?
Eastport Working Together is a group of residents of the Eastport Terrace, Harbor House communities, as well as the surrounding neighbors that get together. We try and have people from Housing Authority of the City of Annapolis there, elected officials, any government employees that can come and offer resources. And Bishop Craig Coates was really organizing those meetings, and it was a way for people to bring to light the issues that they felt need to be addressed in the community, and then bringing those resources to bear to try and assist them. It's really been an ongoing effort. The communities come toward it through some of the violent crime that's happened in the community.
Right.
But really the issues focus a lot on education and resources and jobs and living conditions. And so we're really trying to bring those resources in to assist the residents.
Everything that impacts everybody living in a community. All right, our new police chief, I still call him our new police chief, Edward Jackson. At some point I won't call him that. He has launched a lecture series, and this will be kicking off on Thursday, February 27th at 5:15 to 8:30 p.m. He will be talking about the U.S. Constitution, which is an important topic.
Yeah, Chief Jackson has extensively taught on this topic. He's very excited to bring this topic to the residents of Annapolis in a very accessible way, engage in education, but also in discussion about issues surrounding the Constitution. The church that it's hosted at, St. Martin's Lutheran Church, has very graciously is providing a free pasta dinner.
Oh, wait, he's not making the spaghetti?
No, the chief's not making the spaghetti dinner, but the church is. Yeah, this is just the start. We're going to be offering a monthly series with not only the chief talking, but I may have to speak. Talk about like community outreach, how people can know what we're up to, where we put information out, what other types of information people would like to get from us, things like that. And there will be different topics throughout the year.
Okay, moving on to the next event, Spring Fling. Tell me about that.
Yes, this is our second annual Spring Fling to raise money for our Police Scholarship Fund. This is an amazing event. We started last year at the Annapolis Market House. It's our main fundraiser for the scholarship throughout the year, and it really benefits the residents of Annapolis. The scholarship recipients are residents. They are graduating. They're ready to go to college. This is just one little bit of a help. It's a $1,000 scholarship they get. We focus on the kids that's going to make a big difference to. So we have a lower GPA requirement. This is a scholarship we don't want just available to the select few. We want it to be available to a lot of people in the city. And we're hoping to expand this year by, this is a program where we only give someone a scholarship for the first year that they're in school. We're hoping to fund
continuous years.
Exactly.
That's nice. And while the other two events that we just discussed are free, this one is not. $45 to $75 ticket price range because it goes to the scholarship. Now, spring fling means to me dancing. Am I to imagine that police officers will be dancing? Or can you plan this to happen?
There may be dancing. We could see maybe that would be a good auction item. A dance with a police officer. There will be a band. I know there will be music. We always
Which
have
is
music.
perfect for dancing.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm hoping that you will get some police officers and a choreographer together so that our we can see this dance. That would be nice. Nicole, protecting your house. What's a way to do that?
Contact our community services section. We can come out and provide a free home security survey. We also do commercial surveys where we can give you tips and more house or business specific information on how to make your home or business a harder target for the burglars.
What are some of those tips other than having a German Shepherd on as your pet?
Exterior lighting, especially if your house has it, make sure it's on at night.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't that bother the wildlife, like my owls? Did you know that was just coming? Amy, you knew that was coming, didn't you?
Well, I feel the same way about light and dark skies, but lighting really doesn't make a difference in crime prevention. It lets you see around your house outside of it. It lets your neighbors see outside your house around of it. The more eyes, the better. And when we come through your neighborhood, unless we shine a spotlight on your house, we're not seeing someone creeping down in the bushes. So
your safety comes first.
I feel you. I feel the pain.
Your safety comes first, not the owls. Again, that's free for in the city of Annapolis to residents or commercial businesses. The number to call is 410-268-9000 or email police@annapolis.gov. And there's probably a lot of tips once these people come to your homes or businesses that they can make on locks on the doors, on the lighting, where to shine the lighting, where cars should be, that they should be locked, right? That's an ongoing issue.
Definitely locked and with all the valuables removed from them.
Okay. Bikes, too. We're coming up on spring. Bikes need to be locked up, right?
Yeah, and with bikes, one of the things that some of our local community members are doing are trying to get more bike locks out to kids that have bikes. Because, it's not a top priority. You make sure your kid has a helmet. You maybe don't get the lock. They want to ride it to school. It was really important for them to have a lock. So
are you acting as an intermediary with people that might want to donate locks to come to you?
Oh, definitely. If anyone has locks, they can drop them off. The PTA at the Annapolis Middle School has reached out to us just to see if we have a good source for buying cheaper locks so they can provide them at their school shop for kids to buy. But we'd love to, we're looking at grants right now so that we can maybe buy a bunch of locks before it gets too much warmer, though it's February and it was 60 the other day.
Right.
So that's something that we're looking at as the weather gets warmer.
Thank you both for joining me today and for doing all you do.
Thank you.
This is Donna Cole on the 1430 Connection. We'll see you next week.